So if you are an ardent follower of my channel, you would have known that I am pro positivity in marriage, whether polygyny or monogyny, but especially polygyny, because I have seen the disaster, the chaos, the destruction that a badly managed polygyny is capable of causing the home and the society at large. So instead of maybe just shutting it down completely, my preference is advocating for ways that can make it better, advocating for ways that can minimize the negativities it comes with. If you ever come across any of my videos, especially on polygynous talks, you probably would think that I have polygyny hacked down. I have the cheat code. I am so prepared. I I have no worries about it. Far from it. Very far from it, because I do have my fears, valid fears. Yes, I validated it for myself when polygyny is in question. And I have chosen to share some of my fears with you. Number one, the history in my family. The history in my family is such that, and I don't mean parents, I mean generational, is such that if I want to base off my feelings, my emotions on the history in my family, I would not just dislike polygyny, I would hate it. Yes. And hating what Allah has made permissible is is not something you want to do. If I want to base my emotions on that, I would hate polygyny because it has been all negative. Despite them being more open to polygyny at that time, it was not funny. Maybe someday I would chip into some of those things. But the one that has shocked me and hits me the most was that of my parents. Everyone knows I'm from a monogamous family, but the truth is, there was a time my daddy attempted polygyny. However, it was short-lived, and hopefully someday I would also share that. But my dad and my mom were a standard couple, not just to people who knew us, like neighbors and their friends, but even to us, the children. We knew we had a beautiful home, we had a healthy home, we had a loving home until the introduction of second wife. It went from 100 to a zero real quick. And that is why I've gotten to understand that you being a first wife and thinking, oh, well, I have a positive mentality towards it, it's not enough. Now, assuming your man is even someone who is still able to maintain justice, fairness, and trying his best, someone who will still try to be the best husband to you in polygyny, you do not know who is coming. You do not know who you know. It's yourself and your man. You do not know who is coming. So when I made that post about praying against certain women being your co-wife, I was not blabbing. The kind of man, the kind of person your man is, and the kind of woman he brings into the home affects greatly what your marriage will turn out to be. For my grandparents, I wasn't there, but especially my paternal grandparents, there was also, even my maternal grandparents, there was also this story of, oh, and they were so in love, they were very young when they got married, they were this and that, but everything changed when another wife came in. Those times people don't mind going diabolical as well. So there was also that factor. And the fact that I know that there are still people who are diabolical, even though they wear hijab, you think, oh, they are practicing, they should not have anything to do with shirk. There are people who are still willing to go the extra mile just to, just to take a man, not to share, to take a man. So that is definitely scary. Yeah, tawakkul, put your trust in Allah. Yeah, I do. And that's actually why my mentality towards polygyny is healthy. Because I believe that what has been destined to hit me would not miss me. And what has been destined to miss me would not hit me. However, because I'm human, I still have that fear. The second fear I have when polygyny is in question is infection and other, transfer of whatever. I really don't know how to explain this point, but not to blow my trumpet, I am a very hygienic person, especially when personal hygiene is in question. I do not play with it. And away from that, I think it's very deep for me. Yes, it's very deep for me. You see, even before I came to understand the essence of, keeping yourself, keeping your chastity until marriage, even before I came to understand divine injunction regarding that, I had already on my own made that decision that I wasn't going to do any premarital whatever. I had already decided that. The only thing I did when I came to understand, the Dean stance on it was to make it now for Allah's sake, because it wasn't for Allah's sake before, it was for my own sake. And that's because, like I said, I don't know how to explain. My friends used to call it OCD back then, but now at least a lot of them can agree I don't have any OCD, because right now the environment I'm currently filming, if it were before, I would not be able to film here. I'll be too disgusted to film in this environment. But I worked myself, I worked my mind around it. I didn't go for therapy, so I also believe that I would work my my mind around it should polygyny eventually happen. But I'm just trying to tell you that it was so serious, this aspect of hygiene, especially when it comes to bodily contact, something that deep, is so serious for me that I wasn't interested in a boyfriend girlfriend thingy, because I just feel like, okay, even if I want to date someone, so what if this person goes out and dates another person and then comes back and no, 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 I don't. I know it's funny right now, but it really is that serious for me. And it's also one of the reasons I personally cannot endure a cheat. I just can't endure a cheat. Like, you're here and there with women and then you come back. I cannot endure it, because for me to enjoy it would mean that we have to cut off any sexual relation. I don't know. I do not have it in me to forgive a cheating partner, because my mind will be too messed up. I mean, jealousy, away from jealousy, there's also that aspect of wait. You met with another woman, like there is, it's crazy, I know, but there is that thing for me. So you can just, complete this story for yourself and what goes on in my mind. So now, when it comes to polygyny, yeah, it's halal, but it still doesn't take away my fear and my concern for that. So it's actually one aspect of polygyny that I feel like, especially in the beginning, I'm going to struggle with. And I really hope and pray that my man understands when it happens, because it's going to be a lot of work for me, coming around it. Because the thought of it alone, that wait, this person was with another person. I don't know. I don't hate you for it, but don't come close to me. The way my head perceives it or sees it is that it's dirty and unhygienic. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But really, that's how my head processes it. That's how my brain processes it. My third fear is that the marriage just can't be the same again. And it's not just a fear, it's the truth. It may change for the better, it may change for the worse. But one thing is sure, it cannot remain the same, because your man would change. He used to be a man to one wife, now he's a man to two wives. So he's going to have to change to, you know, um, be a man to multiple women. I used to be the only wife to him. Now I'm just one of his wives. So I'm also going to have to make certain adjustments to come on board with that. So none of us would remain the same. And there is that fear. I also have that fear that I don't know what the changes would be for us. Would it be negative or positive? I do not know. No one knows. Allah knows. However, the only thing I can do is to pray and hope that even if there are going to be changes, it's positive. However, I am human and I really do have this fear of, oh, what will be the outcome? How will it affect us? Are we still going to be this person that we are? You know? And I also have this fear of worrying. Yes, I am very prone to anxiety and depression. My personality type is INFJ, so we are kind of prone to this, depression. But aside from thinking about personality type, I am that person. Things people will just go through and they just go through it and they are fine. I tend to, feel things on a deeper level, than normal. So I'm working on that. I have really worked on that, but it's still a fear for me that I would have too many things to worry about. So, knowing the kind of person I am, what would likely work for me would be to detach. So, I will detach from my man. So, I'm not going to want to trade my mental health for anyone or for anything. And I'm already self-aware enough to know that things like that can trigger me mentally and take me on a downward spiral. So I'm going to work on detachment. I already have worked on it to a healthy level now. Generally, you shouldn't be attached to people. You can love people, but do not be attached to them. But in the face of polygyny, I feel like I'm going to feel I need to detach more, leading to my next fear of becoming someone I do not want to be in marriage, or the kind of wife I do not want to be. Because to be honest, whatever it is, whatever level of attachment I still have now adds to the kind of woman I am to my man. Yeah, and not because I hate him, but because I have to protect me, you know. So there is that fear. The other fear that I have is the kind of woman he's going to bring. So there is that fear that I do not know who is coming. I do not know the kind of role she's going to play, how much influence she's going to have in my marriage, how much power our man is going to give her, or she's going to forcefully take. Because there are some men that, voila, things changed for the negative, but they do not know what they are doing. They are not really in control. They did not make that decision to become a terrible husband now or a terrible father, but it's happening because there is a woman who has been introduced to the family dynamics and who does not fear God, and so doing things that are haram to control things. It's one of my fears. But in all of this, the consolation I have, peace of mind for me in all of this, is the fact that Allah has not sentenced me to life imprisonment in a marriage that becomes unbearable. And that is one thing, maybe also one of the reasons why I'm able to develop a healthy mindset towards polygyny, because I know it's not a do or die affair. So I know that if it turns into something that I cannot manage, I know very well to check out. I, I won't even drag it. So it's really a thing. So don't think when I come here to talk about polygyny, oh, don't do this, oh, let's try to do this, oh, it means I have it all figured out, or maybe I have too many good experience with polygyny. No, it's actually the other way around. So it's just that because of that, I chose to wheel my advocacy towards doing it right so that these, issues can be mitigated, you know. So that's just it. Anyway, those are my fears when polygyny is questioned. So I don't have it all figured out, but Allah knows. And I put my fears in His hands. Yeah, He's the disposer, the best disposer of our affairs. And we can only plan, we can only propose, He disposes. So that's it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bye.